Hey, what's going on guys? It's Johnity and welcome to another Zenwa Zone Zero video. In today's video, we'll be continuing our team breakdown series where I'll cover different types of squads that you can use for specific deadly assault bosses. As usual, we'll do a quick overview of how to play the comp and review some gameplay and do some play-by-play to break down my rotation and decision making. For this team breakdown, we're going to be reviewing my favorite faction, Oboe Squad, featuring Seed, Soldier Zero Anby, and Trigger vs. the Defiler. Seed can be pretty difficult since you do have two attackers to manage, but once you understand where her buffs are coming from and how to upkeep it, she becomes an absolutely insane DPS unit that provides Astra tier buffs. In some way, this comp is pretty reminiscent of anomaly comps, where you have to quick swap quite a lot, which honestly adds more variety in terms of playstyle for attackers. For my build, it's also very F2P friendly and accessible for anyone, so you have any signature W engines, mindscapes, or level 12 skills, then this should be a breeze. I like to leave room for optimization to showcase what a pretty average build can get. Also, if you want to check out the gameplay video without any pauses or interruptions, then the link will be in the description box below, as well as timestamps for anyone that wants to jump to a specific part. Lastly, if you guys do find this video helpful, I greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like and maybe even consider subscribing. I'm planning on doing some streaming soon where we'll do a Road to Top 1% series for Battle Trial Live and our Deadly Assault showcases too. It'll be a lot of fun, so I hope you'll join us. Now without any further ado, let's jump right into it. In any Seed comp, you're going to want another attacker because Seed's kit revolves around having one. When another attacker is in the squad, the attacker with the highest initial attack will be Seed's Vanguard. In this case, Anby will be Seed's Vanguard since she's the only other attacker. When the Vanguard unleashes an EX special attack, Seed gains Onslaught status, which will increase her attack by 1000 and crit damage by 30%. Likewise, when Seed unleashes an EX special attack, the Vanguard gains Direct Strike status, increasing their attack by 1000 and crit damage by 30%. However, the difficulty with this comp isn't maintaining Seed or the Vanguard's buffs individually, but at the same time, because when you have Direct Strike and Onslaught both active, Seed and the Vanguard will gain Besiege status, increasing damage by 25%, which is absolutely insane. This means that you need to ensure you have energy at all times to refresh the necessary buffs. If Seed's Onslaught status is ending, you need to EX Special on Anby, and if Anby's Direct Strike status is ending, you need to EX Special on Seed to maintain Besiege. For the most part, it's pretty easy to maintain Direct Strike on the Vanguard because Seed's energy cost is very low when you just tap it, which is why you don't generally want to burn all her energy. Now, both buffs do last 40 seconds and repeated triggers will refresh the duration, which might seem like a lot of time, but if you're low on energy and with certain bosses like the Defiler, who does phases for like 1/3 of the boss fight, you might drop a certain buff without even realizing. To help the Vanguard maintain energy though, Seed's additional ability does restore 2 energy to the Vanguard when she deals damage as the active character, which can trigger once every 1 second. This will be useful to try to balance both characters' buffs. Now, Seed isn't just a crazy buffer, but still an attacker that does basic attack damage. However, her main source of damage will revolve around her points of Steel Charge, which will enable her to do basic attack Falling Petals Downfall, which has 2 forms. Seed can hold up to 150 Steel Charge, and to unleash Downfall first form and second form will consume 60 each, so 120 Steel Charge is required in total. On top of managing buffs for both attackers, you'll want to also keep track of her Steel Charge. Seed can gain Steel Charge by attacking enemies or when energy is consumed between herself and the Vanguard. For every 1 point of energy consumed, Seed recovers 0.5 points of Steel Charge. Since Anby's EX Special consumes 60 energy, Seed will gain a nice boost of 30 Steel Charge. Her ultimate also accumulates 60 Steel Charge, so with all these sources, we'll want to push for 120 as much as possible to do Downfall. And that's all the keynotes I had, so let's head into the gameplay versus the Defiler. Starting off, we want to set up Trigger and gain Purge so she can use her Harmonizing Shot, which will increase the boss's damage multiplier by 35%. Whenever possible, you want to catch the defensive assist because the Defiler stage buff does give 8% crit damage for each stack of Adjudication, stacking up to 6 times for 30 seconds, with repeated trigger resetting the duration. Now, this next part is pretty important because you really need to consider who you want to catch the defensive assist because you do gain a lot of decibels. Since everyone had a similar amount, I decided to do a nice spread, but mainly focus on Trigger doing the most because we really want her out as soon as possible to stun the boss. This will ensure we have one final stun window towards the end. We ended with Anby so she can finish her stacks through her assist follow-up, and the stage has been set for our team to unload some damage. Looking at our setup, we have full stacks for Anby, and you can see that our direct strike is about to end, which also means that onslaught is about to end on Siege since both buffs are active at the same time during the beginning of a battle. We also got adjudication stacks from the defensive assist earlier as well, so this is the perfect time to EX special on Trigger and trigger our King of the Summit. We're going to release Anby's triple White Thunder stats and use her EX special to refresh Siege buff. We're going to hold on to Anby's current stack so she can safely quick swap in later since she'll be iframed. This will also help with gap closing onto the boss as well. Next, we're going to switch to Seed and EX special only to get enough steel charge so she can use Downfall. Once Downfall first form is activated, we're going to swap back into Anby and use her remaining stacks and then ult on Trigger to stun the boss. For the stun window, you have many options on how you want to use it. For this stun, I decided to keep it consistent and commit to chain attacks and ultimates. I had a test run where we did 12 White Thunder stacks on Anby, but had better results with both attackers doing their chain and ultimate since it's hard to maintain Besiege if Anby holds onto her energy. Seed also has the highest ult damage multiplier as well. Granted, it does take quite a long time, but the damage is absolutely insane and is also enhanced by her additional ability. We're going to start the chain attack with Seed and then Trigger to refresh King of the Summit, and then Anby. From here, we're going to use whatever stacks we have before our ultimate and quickly use those stacks before switching to Seed for her ultimate.
Need a shower? It's raining shower.
You can see that our steel charge is a little short from the 120 threshold, but Anby does have her EX special again, so we're going to quickly swap back to Anby to refresh Siege buff and give her the last bit of steel charge. Once Seed is doing her combo again, we're gonna swap back to Anby and try to shock the boss. This will delay her a bit from entering her phase and is a good time to regain some purge on Trigger. From my experience, she can enter her aerial phase starting at around 220, but because we managed to stun her before then, we can kind of expect it to be coming. For this phase, just a couple defensive assists to help players build adjudication stacks and days. Without a stun agent, the Defiler would generally get stunned around this time. As usual, catch the attacks on agents you want decibels on. We need to quickly EX special on Siege since it's been a while, and Anby's buff will be ending soon. We're going to commit to Anby with the remaining time we have before the next phase. Yeah, quite a lot of phasers. This phase generally happens at around 2 minutes and does provide the Defiler with a miasma shield. She then shoots 2 projectiles at the active character and then a massive blade at the center of the map, where you have to break it to form a barrier against a one-hit KO attack. You do have a bit of time before the one-hit KO, so you can try to get some energy on certain characters if needed. After this phase, the Defiler is going to do a string of defensive assists. This will help get some more adjudication stacks and get rid of the miasma shield for some energy. Before the defensive assist though, we're gonna use Anby's EX special to refresh on Siege's buff and then start catching the attacks. We do miss one, but there are 6 defensive assists total, so you can decide who you want to catch on for the extra decibels. Luckily, this didn't impact the run too much since we didn't need the extra decibels and are already at max adjudication stack since our last one before this phase was at around 2 minutes. We will enter and Seed for quick access to her EX special until 120 steel charge and then try to stun the boss as quickly as possible, who sadly dodged our attack. We did EX special with Trigger right before the stun, so didn't really need to do the chain attack here, but it is pretty quick and always nice to refresh on King of the Summit. Chain attack with Seed and Anby, and then we're going to just combo with Anby until Seed has over 60 steel charge so she can ult and use Downfall. We're going to hold on to Anby's ultimate here because there is one final stun phase, but not enough time to get back both attackers' ultimate, so we can only play for one.
Definitely not my type. Going a little harder won't hurt.
After the stun, we're gonna try to maintain our buffs and catch whatever defensive assist until her last phase, which happens between 1 minute to 50 seconds. Just be careful of unloading too much around this time.
This bullet will reach its mark. It's time.
Homing barrage! Fire!
You're in my sight.
During phase, she's gonna summon soldiers where you have to defensive assist 4 times. Since we're trying to play for Seed to have one final ultimate, she's gonna need to catch as many as possible.
Support is here.
After phase, we're gonna EX special on Seed for the remaining steel charge and on Trigger to rush for that final stun. Any remaining days left, we'll finish it on Anby to get some energy and stacks. We're going to do a string of chain attacks and try to end on Anby to start comboing. For this stun window, we're gonna commit to Anby's 12 White Thunder since she still has her ultimate and Seed doesn't have hers yet, and with so much energy, this is gonna generate a lot of steel charge. We sadly dropped Seed's buff, which means Besiege is gone for a split second, but we did quickly pick it back up again to make this play work. We have 13 seconds left, so we're gonna throw the remaining steel charge for Seed's combo and then EX special on Trigger to maintain her harmonizing shot, since she's running out of purge. King of the Summit also dropped, so we're gonna refresh it for the final push. Afterwards, we're gonna use all our energy on Seed for the decibels for one final ultimate.
Give him a full salvo, C-Senior. C-Senior.
Overall, this Oboe squad is insanely strong and consistent. On top of doing loads of damage, Seed provides Astro tier buffs to her Vanguard, so you don't have to worry too much about losing out on buffs. Having a stun agent for certain bosses like the Defiler is also better because you can generally get an extra stun window. Trigger is also just an incredible agent who provides 35% more damage. When you pair these three agents together, no enemy that's weak to electric is gonna have a good time. The comp can be pretty difficult because you do need to maintain Onslaught and Direct Strike for Besiege to gain maximum damage. There's also Steel Charge as well, which is Seed's main source of damage, and something we didn't really mention is that Downfall also has a high stagger rate to CC bosses, which can be extremely helpful for certain situations. This comp is super fun though, and with the addition of Seed, attackers can have more variety in terms of different playstyles. And that pretty much wraps up the video. We have a ton of no damage, no hit challenges, so if there's a specific team breakdown you guys want to see, let us know in the comments below and we'll do our best to get it out. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Don't forget also to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss on any newly released videos. I've been Johnity, and until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.